Let me ask this. Because you've been in this organization for 30 plus years. You done seen so many Laker players, Laker great players, Laker legends. Name the 5 toughest players that you ever been involved with in Laker history.
You're in that category, but you got to put Kobe
number one.
Kobe number one, and the reason why he edges you out, because beyond the hamstring issue, I mean, you had a couple things, but you weren't. I mean, Kobe was pretty beat up by the time that he retired. So he played with a lot of things that you didn't have to.
Yeah. I mean, he had major surgeries.
Yes.
I didn't have to have surgery.
Exactly. Okay. So, but, I will put you in that category. And then there's sort of like different degrees of toughness depending on what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, are we talking about, playing hurt? Are we talking about, I'll beat your ass?
I think kind of both of those.
You are. And so is Kobe.
I think kind of both of those, yeah.
Kobe would fight you.
Yeah. Oh, not a doubt.
You know what I mean? He didn't care how big you were.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He squared off with Shaq.
Yeah.
Which is probably not a good idea.
I was about to say, that might have been, that kind of showed how crazy Kobe was too, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he didn't back down.
No, that wasn't his nature.
Kareem's the same thing. He didn't have a lot of injuries, but he wasn't a man that you wanted to anger. I can't tell you, and he was calculating too.
Oh, he'd get your ass back if
That's
you did
right.
something to him.
But maybe he learned his lesson with Kent Benson about losing your temper.
Yeah.
And broke his hand.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He was very calculating. I can't tell you how many players, including Mitch Kupchak in practice, ran down the court like this, holding their throat. Because while that skyhook was up here, this elbow was going right in your throat.
Yes, sir.
So if the officials weren't going to protect him, because he was like Shaq, he was fouled on every play.
Yeah.
But you can't call a foul. I mean, there's no flow to the game. You have to. So you got to figure out early on, okay, how are the officials going to call the game? Because it's not going to be called the same way all the time. Okay, it depends on who the official is and how the flow of the game. So you figure that out, and then if they're not going to protect you, then you have to protect yourself.
Yeah,
and so Kareem's in there. That's 3.
That's 3.
Okay, so Luke was only with us a year. Mm-hmm. And he was pretty much, his career was over at that point.
Who?
Maurice Lucas.
Maurice Lucas.
Got you.
But you probably got to put him, he wore a Laker jersey, and by reputation alone, I mean, he punched out Darryl Dawkins.
Yeah, he whooped your ass.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid of anybody.
No,
I mean, his nickname was the Enforcer.
The Enforcer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I tell you what, Shaq.
Yes.
Is mean. I mean, it's big and jolly and funny, and like, he was tough. I mean, he wasn't afraid of anybody.
He played through pain. He played through a lot of pain.
Yes. I mean, and I said this on his podcast, that not that he shouldn't have played with the things that he had. Mm-hmm. He made some bad decisions about, and he made some comments, that I'm sure today, with age and maturity, if he could go back and do it over, he wouldn't do it that way. Okay. But there's probably at least a couple of things that I should have made a bigger deal about publicly. Meaning, you can play with this, but I probably should have put it out there that, this man is playing hurt. We need to give him credit. Mm-hmm. I was part of the cause, okay? Because when you're with a team, you know this better than anybody because we were family.
Absolutely.
And you and I still are.
Absolutely.
And all those other people pretty much still are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? And that's what Pat created, okay? And he had this term called peripheral opponents. Mm-hmm. He used to say there's 12 plus 2 plus 1.
Yep.
12 players, 2 coaches, and me, the athletic trainer. We're the inner sanctum. Those are the 5 people that are on the floor and the 10 people that are on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is a peripheral opponent, and that includes your wife and your kids and all those other people.
That's right.
Because they're a distraction. If you walk in the locker room and you're putting your name on a will call, you're putting your wife's name on a will call envelope, you're distracted.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're not thinking about the game. And I get it. It's maniacal. But I think a lot of us were like, I got it, Pat, because I'm crazy too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to win.
Yeah, we were like, you know what? That makes sense.
You know what I mean? If I need to be here, you know, if you want the trainer to jump off the top of the forum today because you think it's going to help us win, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I knew I would do it because Pat would have jumped first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I really, I mean, obviously it's hyperbole, but
right. No, I truly believe
that's
that
the way
too.
it was.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
But a team is like a family. And you may get mad at somebody in your family. You might get angry with your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. But you don't stop loving them.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
And that's the difference. And in that era, we stopped loving each other. And when that happened, people started choosing sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easy to blame Kobe. This really bothers me.
Yeah, no, I know it does.
Because we should have won 10 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's easy to blame Kobe, and it's easy to blame Shaq. What about the rest of us, including me? There's other players. There's management. There's ownership, coaches. Okay. People chose sides. Okay? People on the team, players chose sides.
Right.
Okay? Coaches chose sides. The fans chose sides. Okay? And it was divisive, and the whole thing crumbled. Okay? And it didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm as guilty as everyone else, because I think that looking back on it, you know, Shaq was hurt. Doesn't mean he shouldn't have played, you know. You know, there's things that we could do to mitigate some of the things that he had.
Right.
But it doesn't mean he wasn't hurt.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And he said to me when he came up to me, and we were, you know, I don't remember how we got there, but it was him making a point. He pulled the hair on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it hurts, right? You know?
Yeah.
Pulls it hard and goes, "That hurt?" I said, "Yeah, that hurt." He goes, "Yeah, that hurts me too when somebody pulls my hair."
Mm.
Meaning, yeah, I'm big, I'm strong, you know, but
I get hurt too.
I get hurt too.
I'm human.
You know what I mean?
I'm human.
And,
I'm human.
And his, like, especially the thing with the big toe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, anybody that has that joint, that first joint where you know, that the metatarsal comes out and meets your big toe, that's where you toe off. Well, he was 350 something pounds. Now he had a big toe and a big metatarsal, but still,
it's a lot of weight.
Anybody, you know, and we put a plate in there trying to offload it. I mean, you know, you do things to help, but you know, God bless him. I love him. He knows, you know, that I wish that I had done more in that regard, you know, but I mean, he could be polarizing too.
You were the trainer with this young man that played his whole career, Kobe. When did you realize he was going to be an all-time great?
Interesting question, because I didn't see it. You know, I really didn't. Everybody, like Jerry West, saw it.
Yeah.
We traded Vlade Divac for Kobe. You understand that trade? I mean, he's a legit 7-foot guy
that could play
with huge hands.
Vlade could play.
Okay, if he touched the ball, he owned it. Great footwork, smart. You know, okay. I love when he played defense on Shaq. Do you know? You probably, I don't know if you know this, but okay, when Shaq would get him in the post, I mean, he'd destroy him, right?
Right.
But so the only thing Vladdy could do was he invented the flop.
Yeah.
But do you know that he used to actually whisper in Shaq's ear? So the first possession that Shaq would get in the post, right before the ball went into Shaq, he'd say, "You ready to get 2 quick fouls?" Which Vladdy playing with his mind.
Yeah, Vladdy was smart, man.
So now, like does Shaq still try to barrel through him?
Right.
Or maybe he tries to fade away, which maybe helps Vladdy defend him a little bit. That's how, you know what I mean? Like he had other game besides just, you know what I mean? There's nuances to the game, you know? So for me, like giving away a legit 7-footer, which is hard to come by for a 17-year-old kid, you know? And I truly remember, you know, and he was stubborn. Kobe was stubborn. And Kobe was one of those guys that had a lot of postural dysfunctional movement patterns because of the type of training and the amount of basketball that he played and as hard as he trained. I mean, you know, he just kept doing the same things over and over. By the time we got him at 17, to the time he retired, he was all out of whack. You know, and he got better at it because he started to realize I need to start to change some of these things, you know. And that's where people like Judy Cito came in and you know, Alex McKechnie was very influential in how we changed a lot of our training back in those days and in terms of core and, you know, pelvic dysfunction and that kind of thing. But I guess it had to be for sure when we played Indiana in the finals.
Yep.
And Kobe had sprained his ankle, I think, in game 2, right?
Yeah.
So it was 2-3-2 in those days. So he sprains his ankle in game 2 severely. We fly to Indianapolis after the game, which was a good thing, okay, because it put him and I together the whole time. So what we try to do at that point is to try to control the inflammatory process. Now, you're going to hear a lot of things today in physical therapy, athletic training, orthopedic medicine, especially with stem cells and things, that we want the inflammatory process because that triggers the healing process. Yes, that's true. But we want to control the inflammatory process, which means in this instance, you don't want this big swollen ankle, okay? Because your body's not going to lay down new cells, what we call, you know, fibroblastic development, until it cleans out all that dead stuff, you know, and swelling and everything. So you're trying to control that swelling, which takes it's painful and it takes a lot of compression. It takes a lot of physical manual therapy of flushing it out. So I have to be there with him doing this stuff with my hands actually on him. And so that whole flight, which we're now also battling, you know, air pressure, okay, which also makes it want to swell. Okay. And then when we got to the hotel, I switched rooms. So we were in adjoining rooms. You wake up 3 or 4 in the morning, you know, your ankle throbbing because I have this tight compression wrap on it. Okay. You got to wake me up. Okay. You got to wake me up. We're going to cut the wrap off. We're going to stick your foot in an ice bucket. Okay. We're going to cool it off. And then as soon as, you know, I take you out of that, then I'm going to flush it out in my hands. We're going to wrap you up again. And hopefully you get another couple hours of sleep. Okay. And so I believe he didn't play game 3.
Yeah, he didn't play that one.
And so after game 3, we're practicing between games 3 and 4. And so we're at the arena and my hands are on him. And now I'm not doing flushing, but I'm doing what we call mobilization. So literally moving bones around. You know, when I say moving, I mean, it's not like we're dislocating bones, but we're trying to create motion. Okay. We don't want an unstable joint, but we want mobility, okay? Because we don't want these bones like stuck together. And so I'm moving, and all of a sudden it's like we hear this like pop. He kind of looks at me, and I felt it when it happened. And I looked at him, and it was what we call a cuboid mob. And I go, this is either going to be really good or really bad. Right? You know? And he hops off the table, and he's barefoot, right? And he's walking around, and he looked over at me and goes, you did it. I can play. Okay. And the next day he played.
Yeah.
And we beat him in 6 games. And I mean, they were good. I mean, now of course Shaq was
dominant. He
was dominant. I mean, and this is going back to like when we were talking about Shaq and throwing stones at him and stuff, as much as we love him. If Shaq wanted to win every single game,
there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they would have had to foul him out of the game is the only thing they could do. You know what I mean? The officials would have to be complicit, you know. Yeah. If Shaq wanted every single rebound, you would not have gotten one. It's literally, Brad Miller.
Very well.
Yeah.
It's a big man, right?
Yeah, Shaq almost killed him too.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
If he would have connected, he would have killed him.
So there's a sort of thing in the league that you may not have ever met a player on another team, but they know who you are. You know who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because we're a part of the NBA family,
right?
At that point, right? So there were times where I might have to go to the scores table to check on something. I might have missed a foul or something, or a correction. Brad Miller was checking in a game. I don't remember if it was Chicago or Sacramento, wherever he was. And he's at the scorer's table trying to get in the game. I'm at the scorer's table checking on something. And he's huge, right? He's a big man.
Yeah, yeah.
And he looks down at me and he goes, gee, look up. Yeah, Brad. Tell me the truth. He's 400 pounds. I said, he's not, Brad. I think he's like 352 today or something like that. He goes, nah, it's bullshit. He goes, he's got to be 400. He goes, I am trying with every ounce of strength. I can't move him. Okay. And Brad Miller was probably one of the biggest, strongest guys in the league at the time.
At the time, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And he couldn't move him.
Yeah. No, couldn't move him, couldn't budge him. And I used to get in fight. Yeah. And this is when sometimes every once in a while, the athletic trainer takes off his athletic training hat and he steps into the basketball, place, which is really no business for us. I mean, I don't know an X from an O, but, I would say to him, because you're playing injured and stuff, let's try to play smart. And that's one thing about Kobe. Like, I tell these stories about Kobe. If you're looking at Kobe Bryant through my eyes, and the question that he asked me about when did I realize? Yeah. Because with my eyes, there was nothing really that special about Kobe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was he 6'6", 6'7"? Yeah. So was he big compared to me? Yeah. Was he big compared to NBA standards? No. Mm-hmm. Was he strong? Yeah. Was he strong? No. Okay. Was he quick? Yeah. Could he jump? Yeah. Did he have like a 42-inch vertical? No. There weren't any. I mean, he was gifted, talented guy, but there's a lot of guys that were just like him.
Right.
Why does he have 5 rings? And other guys that were infinitely more gifted don't have any. And there are things. And one of those things was he not only played hard, he not only worked hard, he worked smart. Mm-hmm. A lot of people work hard. There was no extraneous movements with him. Yeah, it was almost like choreographed, his practices, his workouts. He knew what he wanted to do, and he had several options. And you know this better than I do. He probably had 4 moves. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it depended on which one you took away.
About to say which one you tried to take away.
Yeah, I mean, unless he got really stubborn on something, and he just wanted to prove to you that if he really, really wanted to. But that took up a lot of energy. Okay. So why go to something that you're trying to take away? He would just go to something else.
Yeah.
So if you took this away, he went to that. If you took that away, he went to that. And so I was trying to talk to Shaq about this. Why don't you do all of your work before you get the ball? Okay, go down and take the block. Okay, and then they'll throw it to you, and then you score. Okay, but no. Okay, you want to post up away from the block. Okay, with your back to the basket, and show everybody your cat-like reflexes because you're 7 foot and you are cat-like, and you want to spin and you want to be Hakeem Olajuwon. And fadeaway baseline. That's not you, man, But the game was boring to him. If he went down, took the block, he gave it to him, he turned around and
easily put it
scored.
up.
It was too easy.
Jump hook or dunked or drop step dunk. Or
drop step, the spin
he
move.
he made the game harder than it needed to be, And it's one of the things about greatness. That really great, and this I think goes across the board for life in many ways. Okay? People that are really great at stuff make it look easy. It's not.
Right.
They make it look easy.
Right.
Okay. So you got some people that make easy things hard.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have to be that hard,
that's true.
man.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
And then you got people that make hard things look easy. You know what I mean? And most people that are somewhat successful, that's probably the best way to say it, are somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You try to figure it out.
Give me the transition from your perspective, because you did this for so many years, when you first started as a trainer to how training is done now today. And you've only been retired for 9 years. So you got a chance to witness how it was when you first started compared to how it was when you left.
You just heard me when you gave me the mic. You sure you want to go down this rabbit hole with me? Because you're not going to get another word in for a while.
Gary, do us a favor.
Okay.
We do want to ask you some questions.
We do have a few questions.
So give us the short version so we can ask you some questions.
Right, well, let's put it this way. When Kobe retired in 2016, I can make an argument. You were the head coach.
Yes.
I can make an argument that he was the best player with his back to the basket in the league at the time. He would not be able to play the game the way he played it in 2016. And that was just 9 years ago.
You mean he wouldn't be able to play it today like he played then?
Yes.
But we both know that he would adapt anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No.
And
I'm
he
saying
still
the
would
way
dominate.
the way he played it, he would have killed you a different way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But he would have killed you.
Yeah.
Okay. He would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay. He would have figured it out before they figured it out.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
That was Kobe.
Yeah.